Okay.
All right, so I am super excited about our next project that we're doing with Hydro-Blok. And if you've watched a lot of my videos, if you've been following my channel here, you know that I use all types of different systems, and there's a reason for that. I just want to genuinely understand how each one of them works and what I like about them, the pros and cons of each. And believe me, every single system has their own pros and cons. There isn't a perfect system out there. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for doing something with a tile shower. But this type of system by Hydro-Blok, this foam board system, is ultimately my favorite type of system. It's something that basically transformed my business back in 2008 when I started getting into bathroom remodeling. And I started looking into waterproofing systems back then because I really had no idea really what I was doing when I was constructing a tile shower. I've seen a lot of people just using a rubber liner underneath of it. That's what they sold at Home Depot. I did that. I did it all wrong, and I used things like hardy backer and cement board, and I wasn't waterproofing it. And I did eventually get callbacks from clients saying that my shower pan was leaking. And that's what really highlighted me to go into looking for how to go about doing this. Now you have to remember, 2008, it was kind of before you had YouTube, you had all this social media stuff. So it was really tough to find information. And so I found a forum called Contractor Talk. And so this was just like a regular, it was not Facebook, but it was like a forum for contractors, and we were discussing waterproofing, and one of the big items out there was Schluter, and then there was Weedy. And so I started using Weedy, and I basically exclusively used them for the following 8 years with all my tile shower constructions. It's very easy to modify, it's really easy to install, and this Hydro-Blok system is pretty much identical and just as easy to use. And so that's why I'm really passionate and really excited about using this system, because it's just where I started with bathroom remodeling. Basically being able to use a sealant application and modify the shower pans to fit really made a world of difference and made it easy for me as a contractor going out and looking at jobs that I know that if I ordered a shower pan, I can modify it and fit it for the space that I need, and that everything was going to be pre-sloped and completely waterproof. Gave me peace of mind on it. So let me go through some of the components of Hydro-Blok, because they really are a full system. They have all types of different components. Really makes it easy to find and get all the different components to add on to things. So the first thing you want to do when you're looking at a tile shower is determine whether you're going to do a curved shower or a curbless shower, because they're going to have two different size pans, or basically thickness of pans. So they got your standard 1.5" thick pan, that would go with your curves. Now they do have two different size curves. This is our 2-inch curve, so it's nice and slender. I really do like using these smaller curves just because you can usually use a normal 4-inch threshold sill over top of this. So if you ever went to Home Depot, they have marble sills. They got a bunch of different, they even have, I think they have like black ones and white ones. But anyways, a 4-inch sill is usually perfectly a nice size curve for a standard shower. So I do like using this a lot, but they do have your standard 3.5-inch 4-inch curve that you can use with their standard shower pans. So really depends on what your design is and what you're doing. But having those options are great. But like I was mentioning, there's two different size pans. There's the 1.5" thick for the curves, and then a low profile pan. So we're actually going to be installing a 36 by 48-inch low profile pan. It's only 1 inch thick, so that makes it really easy when you're doing a curbless shower in a standard bathroom, because you normally have 3/4 inch plywood, and then you just add on a layer of an uncoupling membrane. This is 1/4 inch uncoupling membrane that you can use to go over your floor, which is a great underlayment for tile, and that'll even up and be nice and even with a 1 inch thick pan. So I'm gonna, follow along, because we're going to go through all of these different installation processes so that you can really understand and determine what's the best method for your own bathroom. But they do have all the other types of components. They got the recessed niches. We're actually going to be using this one here. This one's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be really painful on the tiling aspect, but using an arch niche like this, I think is going to be really awesome. So this is going to be kind of the focal point on the back of the wall. Really excited to install that. Got your screws and washers, pretty standard stuff. I thought this was a neat little product that they had. This is called their little shampoo caddy. So this actually just goes right into the corner of your shower and creates a nice little ledge. Also has this diagonal pattern on it that I think is going to be unique, and you know, it's going to make me stress about the tile work, but it's definitely going to look pretty cool. They got the valve seals, so if you have a standard shower valve like a Delta or a Moen, this is going to work great for that. You got your pipe seals, and you got two different types of membranes. You got the 1/4 inch membrane, so this is like an uncoupling membrane. This is going to line up really great with the low profile pan for the curbless. And then you have a thinner membrane if you don't want to have a lot of thickness or height in your bathroom. This is 1/8 inch, so they got the two different size membranes in that. They also can get a subfloor lowering kit. This allows you to basically lower the subfloor within the shower area for your curbless entry. It makes it kind of simple. Really depends on, you know, whether your floor is level. This one actually is not, so we're actually going to be just framing this one because we're about a 1/2 inch out. And I want to show you like the complications with doing a curbless shower with a subfloor that's unlevel. That can be a real problem for people, and I think we're going to highlight a lot of great information on that. The sealant application, now this is a sausage tube. If you're a contractor, I highly recommend going this route because you get a lot more sealant out of a tube rather than a regular traditional tube. Also makes it easier to apply sealant. But let me show you about the pan. Now the pan is the real key part of this system that I think makes it simple. You know, because one of the things about, as a contractor, when you're going out and bidding jobs and you're looking at them, there's a lot of gray areas that you just really don't know until you actually start demoing the project. You don't like, a lot of times people will have a tub surround in or an existing tile shower in, so you really have no idea how square or how wide that actual shower is going to be. So being able to have a shower pan that you can cut down and customize for the size of your shower really takes the worry out of it as a contractor, because I know I could buy one of these pans and be able to make it work. And if you ever bought a different type of system that is kind of exactly the size, you know, 30 by 60, you kind of have to fur out the walls and everything to make it work.
Where do you buy it?
So you can order online. They do have their online shop, Hydro-Blok.com. Dow Towel, you can order through them. But you could go onto their website and look up their distributor locator. They're getting a lot bigger. I mean, they're really moving ahead and getting into a lot more areas. But Dow Towel is one of them. Now they don't. I think a lot of them don't have them in stock yet. But you can order it through that. And like I said, their online store does sell some of it. Menards, I'm guessing that's a Midwestern thing. You can order or purchase from Menards. But I think as time goes on, you're going to have a lot more places that are going to be able to have this stuff in stock. All right, so the shower pan. So we're going to be installing a 36 by 48 inch shower pan. And like I mentioned, this is a low profile. So this is only 1 inch thick. So the concept is basically take out 3/4 inch plywood underneath of your shower area, lower that down to the top of your joists. So that would give you 3/4 inch below your actual subfloor, and then you add some of this membrane on top of your outside subfloor, and that'll even up with this. So that makes it really easy, being 1 inch thick, makes that thing. But now this, I think, is one of the big key components to this that makes this system so easy. So this is their shower drain system. I mean, it's just like I look at this as being like a shark bite for your drain connection, because look at the back of this. You basically just have a rubber gasket. So when you take your 2 inch pipe, you just press it in. As long as this is up against the bottom of your drain, so you have to kind of spin this. Like when you actually have this pan in, you're going to be able to apply pressure and spin this. But as long as this is right sealed up against here, that's all there is to it. Like there's no gluing, there's no messing around with the height and not sure whether you have something glued. And even if you're actually unlevel, so say if your pipe was coming up out of the floor at an angle, you can actually adjust this slightly to keep this straight. Now you have these little, you have some screw holes here that you're gonna be able to mount this into your subfloor. But I mean, it's just so much flexibility, because if you ever had your plumber come out, if you had a plumber change your plumbing, I can't tell you how many times I've seen them actually not be plumb. They're kind of like off a little bit, and then it's a real problem with a normal shower drain to connect that. So, I mean, seriously, it's like your shark bite fitting for your drain connection. Very, very simple. And I think that's going to be one of the easiest things for any DIY or contractor, that you can basically just sleeve over this.
So you don't have to put any pipe sealant on or anything?
Nothing. No,
really?
It's just a rubber gasket. It's just the way these ribs are on here, just basically seals it. So if you ever installed like a Kohler shower drain assembly, some of them just have a rubber gasket that you sleeve over top of your pipe or riser pipe, and you just compact it into the actual drain assembly. This is the same concept, only this is already installed in there for you. So it's just a rubber collar that is basically sealing around this 2-inch pipe. Seems crazy, but they've tested this to make sure that no matter what happens here, it's going to be leak proof. So again, as long as your pipe is sitting all the way into the fitting. Now, I mean, if you can't be, you can't be a 1/2 inch down and expect this not to be a problem. As long as you have the whole pipe completely sealed in the drain, it's going to be leak proof. So really cool. They even give you a little stopper here for flood testing your shower drain, which I thought was pretty cool. Now when you open up the drain assembly, or the whole assembly they got here, they have a whole bunch of different items in here. This is really nice to have, because it basically provides you everything. They even give you the utility knife to cut all this stuff. That's pretty cool. So you got a Hydro-Blok utility knife. You've got some cleanup wipes for the sealant. So this sealant is pretty strong stuff. If you get that on your skin, it's really tough to get off. This guy, pretty cool. This is universal for any type of drain system that you're using. So this is basically a puller. So when you have your pan, when you have your drain assembly down in there, and you're trying, and say you have a little bit of movement on your drain, and you can't, like, it's wanting to compress the drain down, your whole trap, you can grab your pipe with this and pull the drain assembly up. It's kind of hard to show that in this scenario because I don't have anything situated, but it's basically just a drain puller. It allows you to pull up the drain to get this nice and tucked into your drain assembly. So that's definitely a handy tool for any type of drain assembly. You got your corner trials. This is great for the sealant application up against here. So now the whole concept of this is to, where'd my piece of wood go? So you have a rabbet joint, very simple. So you're going to basically apply a big bead of sealant in that corner. This is going to go on your wall and go straight into the pan. And then you're going to want to put another bead in between here. And this corner trowel really makes it nice and easy to get nice flat surface. So if you ever used Schluter or any type of membrane system, you know that there's a lot of buildup in the corners. Having this corner trowel is going to make that sealant nice and even. Now they do also have one other feature that is different from the Weedy system and a lot of the other sealant applications, and that is a fiberglass mesh that you're going to put into the corners of your shower, and that's going to reinforce the sealant and make this a very strong joint. Now obviously the biggest area that you're going to have problems with your shower, or the most penetration, is the shower pan with water and this transition between the wall board in here. So that's why the fiberglass mesh with the additional sealant in those corners is going to make that leak proof. Now granted, this is also warranted, lifetime warranty on this entire system if you use everything Hydro-Blok. So you're going to be guaranteed that if you follow these instructions, you follow my guidance, that when we install this, that you're going to get a lifetime warranty out of it. Got your regular flat sealant spreader, so when you put the boards together, you're going to want to seal against anything like that. You're also going to have your washers and screws. So these washers you're basically going to be, that's how you're going to mount all of your boards. So you're going to have a washer that will basically hold the board together, and then you're going to basically apply sealant over every one of those. You've got your drain assembly bracket here. So this is going to be kind of your temporary, like while you're doing all your tiling, and then this will be your actual drain cover that will set in. This is actually a really nice thick, I mean that's got to be 3/16 inch or so, but it's a very nice thick metal constructed drain assembly that you'll be able to easily take out and service the drain. And then, so I just opened this up just a minute ago, and I was like, what is this? And it was a wine bottle opener. But really what they give you this for is when you're flood testing it to get this rubber ball out, you know, to be able to pull this out and make it easy. But this actually is a Hydro-Blok wine opener if you want to hold it on for that. I thought that was pretty neat.
What package do you get to get all these?
Just any one of their shower pans.
Okay, so
Yeah,
any
you
one
just
of
buy
them.
their shower pan and they're going to have all these components in with it. So that's kind of nice. You're not out there searching for all the extra stuff. Now what you have to buy in addition to the pan is the sealant, the screws and washers, you know, and then your wall board. Now they do have different size boards. The 1/2 inch is really going to be everyone's most standard size because, you know, most bathrooms have 1/2 inch drywall in it, so you're going to want to match that layer. And these are already rabbet jointed for 1/2 inch, so, you know, 1/2 inch wall board. What I really love about this stuff is that it has a cementitious layer on it. It's waterproof all the way through, so as long as you don't penetrate all the way through the board, you're good. And that's same with the shower base. If you ever have another contractor, electrician, plumber, whatever, come into the home and you don't have the tile set yet, if they drop something on the shower pan, like on a Schluter pan, you got some repairs to do, you got some flood testing to do again and make sure it doesn't leak. This stuff, as long as it doesn't penetrate all the way through the pan, you're in good shape. So I really like that extra insurance that the foam board is completely waterproof all the way through. But it's also very, you know, it's very durable. It's a very thick, I mean, it's a kind of like a hardy backer feel to it. It's a very strong board. And then the biggest thing is that it's dust free. You're just using a utility knife. You're not inhaling any dust. You can modify this to fit an unlevel ceiling. You know, it just makes it so much easier than cement board or definitely hardy backer. I despise hardy backer. I inhaled way too much of that dust over the years. But then you have different size boards. You've got the 1/2 inch, you've got the 1/4 inch. So this is 1/4 inch. This is a great way if you had a very intricate towel, you know, say if you had some kind of, what do you want to call it? A waterfall feature out of your mosaics, you could set them all on this and then just bond this to the wall. So a 1/4 inch is really useful for a lot of different intricate tile work that you do. They also have different sizes like the 1.5 inch. We're actually going to use an 1.5 inch board for a shower bench. So that's going to be something that we're going to construct fully out of the foam. And what we're also going to do on here is do a heated seat on it. So I think if you have a shower bench, you're going to want to have a heated seat with your heated flooring. So that's going to be a really nice added feature. They have extensions. So if you, as a contractor, I would actually have one of these on hand, especially if you're going to get into doing a lot of the Hydro-Blok systems for clients. Having all these additional components just makes it easy for you, and you don't have to be running around if something went wrong. Say if you got into the job site, you're changing a tub to a shower, and your drain, unfortunately, there's like a joist, like right in the center of where you need to set your drain. Well, you can add an extension onto this and be able to move that drain to the location that you need it to. The wrong way. So this extension, this is a 24-inch pan extension. So you can add this on either side of it too. You know, so if you needed to, you know, add it on all 4 sides, if you had to, you could. But if I was a contractor, or I am a contractor, but if I was a contractor doing this for a living, I would definitely have a couple of these on hand just in case I came up with that scenario where I have to make a drain off center and I need to adjust this. This will really make it easy to move that around. But again, like my biggest thing about these systems that I loved is that you can, if the shower area was 35 inches, I could cut this pan down, recreate the rabbet joint, and just move on with the project versus, other systems that are just gonna a lot more cumbersome, especially if you ordered something that's, predetermined. You can't really adjust that in the field. It kind of is what it is. So, but that really kind of highlights all the aspects of Hydro-Blok here. I'm really excited to share with you all the pros and cons of this and how to install it.
Why do you think this is better than using GoBoard? Because like GoBoard is obviously
it's not itchy. The itch factor, I hear a lot of people, I've used tons of GoBoard. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But GoBoard doesn't, they do have a shower pan system, but it's nothing like this. It's very, honestly, I've been reluctant to use the GoBoard shower pan that they have because I just don't really like the concept. Basically, they give you 4 wedges. Okay, so they basically give you 4 GoBoard pieces that goes from like 1 inch down to 1/4 inch, and you basically cut that at the shape of the shower that you need, and then you're just using sealant directly into those main joints on the bottom of the shower pan. Now, they mentioned that they warrant their system as well. I just don't personally like having a joint, like a completely cut joint in the middle of the bottom of the shower pan and just relying on the sealant for that. Now, I understand I'm using the sealant in these corners and I'm relying on the sealant in these corners, but these are adjoining to one another. I don't know. I just have a real problem with their shower pan system, just literally using sealant for that entire joint. I just don't like the concept of it, and the fact that this is waterproof all the way through, already pre-sloped, having this point drain here, I just think it's superior. Now, the other thing about the difference between this and GoBoard is this cementitious layer on here. I feel like this is a better product to bond thin set to. It's reinforced with that fiberglass mesh, and so I think this is a stronger board than GoBoard. I can tell you that right now for sure. Now, that's the reason that GoBoard uses that fiberglass in it. It's to reinforce the board. This is a mesh. They just sprinkle the stuff on there. That's the stuff that gets into your skin and makes it itchy as hell. So, from my understanding, Hydro-Blok does plan on being very competitive with their board price as GoBoard. So at some point, if you had GoBoard and this stocked side by side, I don't know why you would go with GoBoard. Honestly, this is just a better product overall. And I'm not just saying that because they sent out this system and I'm installing it. It's like I legitimately feel with this cementitious layer on here, this is a better system. It's a more rigid board, and just to have all these other components with it makes a big deal. They don't have they don't have the different drain assemblies that this has. They don't have the pipe seals. They don't have the shower niches. Like GoBoard is leaving a lot of things out. They don't have a lot of these additional components to install with it. And again, this is a lifetime warranty with all of their stuff. So if warranties mean anything, warranties don't really mean all that much to me because I'm the one who has to warrant it to a certain extent. It is nice having the company say that, but at the end of the day, the installer is the one who's going to get all the problems. And now, I haven't heard of any issues ever happening with Hydro-Blok. They claim that they haven't had any warranty claims that I know of. So, but it is nice to see something saying lifetime. I know Schluter says like 15 years or something like that. Like, why not give you a lifetime warranty if you're going to install it? So is that it?
That's it.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Thanks so much for following, and I always appreciate all the comments and all the people that show up on this platform.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay.